Hi, I'm Anjanette, and welcome to this week's session of Healing from the Inside Out. So, usually I have a guest with me, but today I thought I'd go it alone. I want to tell you a little bit about why this show got started and why it's so important to me and why I show up to help other people. So, many years ago, I was living in a body that I absolutely did not love. And even though I was in the healthcare field, people were very dismissive when I was going to them for help, right? And until I found that doctor who actually listened to me. But that inspired me to set out on my journey and really find out how to heal my life in a real way. My body, my mind, my spirit, because I was broken. I was emotionally broke. I was physically unfit in a body that just wasn't putting out any substance for me on a day-to-day basis. I had gut health issues, thyroid issues, my whole life, several autoimmune diseases, and it was very hard for me to get through a day on a day-to-day basis because I woke up so tired and so drained every day. And I was taking care of other people. And it was very concerning to me that as long as I was in healthcare, that people were very dismissive and they weren't good at listening, right? So I came online to help people. I wanted to be that listener, someone who didn't dismiss them, someone who actually listened to what was going on with them. Because the body it's not so difficult to figure it out. It all works together, the mind, the body, the soul, all of it. But you do need those missing pieces to come together. So wherever you're suffering in your life, whether it's emotionally, physically, or mentally, you do have to do some kind of inner work or get that help to really bring you back to a healthier version of yourself, right? Because how we show up is how we live. And I really wasn't getting that help anywhere. And remember like that dawning light. I was trying weight loss programs and all these things. And my mother said to me, very matter of factly, she said, I don't understand why you're asking these people for help. Nobody's listening to you. And you're the smartest person I know. You've been healing things and people and animals since you were old enough to walk. She said, you can figure this out. She said, trust yourself. And that was like what I really needed to hear. I needed some confirmation, I guess, that I wasn't going crazy, that all these things were really happening in my body and there was an answer somewhere and I was going to find it. And her believing in me was that extra little push I needed to say, hey, that's right. I can do this. I'm a nurse. I've been doing this forever. And I really was that child, like that was bringing home every stray animal and healing them, regardless of what was going on with them. So I came online to really be that empathetic ear. And a lot of times we go to a healthcare professional and we're not so straightforward with what's going on with us. We tend to, I don't want to say lie, but we don't realize that certain indicators are important. So we might leave out really important pieces to the puzzle, right? So they usually go through these assessments, but healthcare has become more of a business and got very busy, and they're not looking for the pieces. Healthcare has become very separated by nature, right? And the body works together. It always has. So you have doctors that have basically niche down because they go to school for all these years to learn the body and then they pick a specialty and they only factor in that body. And then you have those amazing people who really put those whole pieces together and really do focus on outcomes instead of symptom management. So I was lucky enough to just ask a doctor that I had been working with who really trusted me on such a high level. And he said to me, Anja, if you think there's something wrong, I'm absolutely sure you're correct. He said, so we'll do those tests that you want me to do. And then I got that confirmation. And then from there, I was able to really find my way back. I had always managed all of my disease processes prior to that, until I was brought to my knees. I lost somebody that was really close to me, and my sister D, and that kind of rocked my world. And the stress of that and the emotional gravity of it just really rocked my entire world. And I couldn't manage those things. I couldn't deal with a lot of things from day to day, and I was already emotionally labile. I was already suffering from depression because of the gut health issues and the thyroid connection to cognitive issues and mood. And it wasn't a pretty picture, really wasn't. And then grief. So, finding my way back wasn't easy, but that's kind of why this show is so important to me because I think there's so many people out there looking for answers and people are dismissing them and they think that maybe they don't know their own body and they absolutely do and they have to trust that gut and really listen to what that body is telling you. So I started writing for Brains magazine, and I my first article was on autoimmune diseases. So a lot of people look at autoimmune diseases and they feel like their body's attacking them. And what it's really doing is sending very clear signals that something's wrong. And if we're listening to our bodies, those signals are very easy to understand. But we've gotten very away from living in the moment, tuning into who we are, and we're stuck in the past or we're racing towards the future, and all these things create disease in our body or limiting beliefs about our capabilities to achieve things, stories people have told us in the past about who we are and what we're capable of. We live in that, and I was living in that too. And I had suffered a lot of trauma in my life, a lot of abuse, and I wasn't letting that go. So that part of that sickness was already there. And then with all the disease processes, but that's what they stem from. The things that we hold on to, those hurts, those pains, those create disease in our body long before the physical system symptoms are present. They're there, right? And they are creating sickness, that stress, that grief, well, that trauma, all of those things are having an impact on the emotional, on the physical, the spiritual, or the mental. And little by little, the body starts to break down and it just says stop, and then you get that big signal, that big alert that says, hello, over here, I need some help, right? And mine was iconic. I remember looking in that mirror like it was yesterday and just hating the me that was staring back and not really understanding how I got to that place, from that small, frail person I was growing up to this body of 300 pounds looking like the Hulk almost. Wasn't green, but I wasn't hanging too tough in this body. And I really had to do that inner work. I really had to look at what I was holding on to, why I felt spiritually broke, why I was emotionally bankrupt, and how much of that was mine and how much of those things belong to someone else. And um, when you start identifying where those thoughts come from and who they really belong to, how much of you they're really not, it's easy to give those back and just own yourself and your worth. So that's what this show is really been about for me. I'm really here to help people believe in themselves in a real way. I think that everybody needs someone to believe in them. Just they need that extra kick to say that you can do this. And whether I'm supporting them with tools or health or just someone that's going to be believe in them until they believe in themselves. But the show itself has been highlighting people who have been through so much trauma and grief and other things and have made it out. So I hope their stories inspire you, and I hope you are loving this show. And I'm always available if you want to reach out. If you want to be a guest on the show, I would love to have you because you are why I'm here. It's so important for us to really lift each other up and support one another on this journey. So I hope you're having a great day. That concludes this session of Healing from the Inside Out, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.